What's up guys, today I want to show you my latest camera support system that I've been using. It is the Easyrig together with the whole entire setup of the ring. So this guy gets pretty heavy. It has a lot of different accessories and things like that attached to it. So first of all, let's go over the entire setup here, and after that I'll show you the Easyrig and how it helps with pretty much holding the setup for a long period of time. So all the pieces here are mounted on the Digital Foto ring, and the ring comes with a quick release plate especially designed for the Crane 3S, which will stop the gimbal from spinning. And next up we have the Crane 3S. So it is a very powerful gimbal with big motors. The Crane 3S comes with an extension for its arm, so you can move this motor a little bit further, and that will give you a lot more clearance for bigger cameras. And if you want to put a big camera on here, I would definitely recommend getting one of these power banks from Jian. It actually just has 6 extra batteries inside, and you plug it in at the same time as you have the other 3 inside. So once you plug it in, the gimbal will last longer, and it will also supply more voltage to the motors so it can handle bigger camera setups. Next up, we have the wireless follow focus, which is hooked up to the camera, and above that we have a mini V-mount battery from Yingchen, which is really cool. It has 2 DTAP ports and 2 USBs. So one of those USBs is going to my follow focus, and a lot of the times I also have another USB cable running from the V-mount straight into the USB-C port on my S5 or S1 camera, and that way the camera can last a lot longer. And the V-mount battery is attached with Digital Foto mount, so that just screws on to the ring and you can slide in the battery and works well. Next up we have the Holyland Mars 400S Pro, which is the latest from Holyland. Transmitter, 400 feet range, very cool. It's just mounted on a little magic arm. Next up we have a little mount from Digital Foto, which is attached to my Ninja 5 recorder. And the Ninja 5 recorder has the 8-SIN cage around it, which makes it really easy to attach the monitor pretty much anywhere. And last but not least, of course, we have the Lumix S5, which is their latest camera. It's very small, full frame. So the S5 can shoot 4K 25 and 10-bit. It's very small and tiny, compact camera. Now, let's check out the Easyrig, which makes it super easy to hold this entire setup for a long period of time. So here we have the Digital Foto Easyrig. It's pretty much a backpack with an arm that goes up at the top, and it has a dampening arm that smooths out any up and down movement from walking. And the camera ring just pretty much mounts on this hook. So rather than holding the entire setup with your arms, this now takes the stress away from your arms and puts all the weight onto your hips. So I've done another video about Thanos Pro, which is a different camera support system. So there's a spring arm that comes out, and on top of that we have a collar yoke that goes around the gimbal, and then you put the gimbal into that. So I think Thanos Pro eliminates a little bit more shake than this setup, but this rig is great for setups such as the ring with the Crane 3S. So what we need to do is drag this down, and we just clip it on the ring. Just make sure it's roughly in the middle so we have good balance. We tighten that down, and now we have the Easyrig. First thing you'll notice is the camera will be going down by itself. That's because we need to make the springs tighter. So on the back of the Easyrig, there's a little mechanism that we need to twist. It's best to have an assistant to tighten that up, but if you can't, of course, you can do it yourself. So what we're gonna achieve here is that the gimbal and the entire rig setup isn't going down by itself. So we can bring it down if we want it to, and that's just gonna stay in the same position. If we wanna bring it up all the way here, then we can do that, and it's not going anywhere. So that's pretty much balanced back there. And now if you look at the dampening arm, it isn't straight, it is going down a bit. That means that the rig is a little bit heavy. So what you wanna do is use this part to tighten that up. So you pretty much wanna bring this to a flat position. So now when you walk or move, that will kind of eliminate some of the shake. So the best way is to hold it. That way it gets very stable, and the rest of the movements are pretty much stabilized by the gimbal. So there's not much shake, even when you're walking around and that kind of stuff. It's very smooth and very easy on the arms. Like pretty much you don't have to hold it with 2 hands. You can just hold it with 1 hand when you're walking around, kind of chilling. And once you get to shooting, you can hold it with 2 hands. So the main point of this Easyrig is basically you can shoot way longer with this kind of setup, especially if you have a bigger camera. So I've been to Armageddon show in New Zealand, walking around with this rig for 2 hours with a little break in between. Just at the end of those 2 hours, I started to feel my hips. Otherwise, I was pretty good walking around with it. It just feels so light. So this definitely is a cool setup, especially if you're rocking a bigger camera, bigger gimbal. And if you want to make this setup a little bit more minimal, you can hook the Easyrig straight to the Crane 3S without the ring. You can also shoot handheld with the Easyrig. You just clip this on to the top handle of your camera and you're good to go. And I just want to mention, probably the first time you're going to put on this rig, your back might hurt if you don't put it on correctly. That's what happened to me. I had all the straps done pretty tight, and that means that when you tighten these ones up, the whole rig moves too high and it's no longer sitting on your hips. And that means your back will start to hurt because the whole weight is dragged onto your back. So the trick here is to loosen these straps down a little bit and tighten the bottom belt a bit, just so it sits on your hips, but it's not too tight and not too uncomfortable. And once you loosen these ones up a little bit, then you have a lot more freedom here. So that's the trick. It's just to make sure that these straps are a little bit looser, this one's a little bit tighter, and then that way everything can be resting on the hips, and then you can wear this setup for a lot longer. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at KwasnikPictures. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up.